Hey, welcome to the No Life Kings podcast. I'm Dravs.
And I'm Case.
Coming to you in issue 42, where we'll be talking to you about Black Widow, a film that Case invented in the pre-production meeting called Dark Widow, The Suicide Squad, and I guess the start of the What If series on Marvel. So Case, I guess we can start with Black Widow, and then we'll eventually move into Dark Widow, the Case What If scenario for the Black Widow universe.
Yes. So Black Widow, what do you think? What is the story? It's been a while. I don't remember much about it. Was it worth watching?
I struggled to get through the movie.
Wow. Does this make it wait, here's a question for you. Do you put it as the worst MCU movie, or is this proof that having streaming movies at home make you not watch them as well? Focus on them.
I have watched other movies and been just fine. I don't think that this movie was that entertaining.
So where does it sit in the world?
Worst MCU movie. I think you and I talked about this. I think that the Edward Norton Hulk movie is probably the worst.
Really? I actually don't remember that one very much, other than Stan Lee drinking the contaminated
drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and the scene where Hulk was in the rain with Liv Tyler. Is that who it was? And that's the only two things I remember. Like, did he even fight anything? The Abomination. That's right. But yeah, that movie, I don't think that movie was bad personally, because he didn't fight a cloud like he did in the other Incredible Hulk, at least. And Lee.
The Ang Lee version.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think Dark World might have been worse to me. I have a list somewhere of my rankings, but they change every day. But Black Widow, the story that we didn't need, but we wanted. Is that right? So the whole thing is about Natasha going basically and finding out the people that made her who she was are still around and she needs to kill them all. That's basically the story, right?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the opening in the 80s part, other than the wrong toy being used when it came to My Little Pony. That's not an 80s My Little Pony. That was a current generation of My Little Pony action figure. So toy, I don't know what you call a pony. It's not action. Is it an action figure? I'm very confused. Anyhow, other than that, I agree with you. It wasn't the greatest movie. I wasn't too mad at it. There were some dumb things I thought, like the end when spoilers by the way, when she goes to kill the guy that's in charge of the whole Black Widow world, and it's like, oh, you can't kill me because you can smell me. Why can't she could shoot him with a sniper rifle from far away?
Yes.
Like, it's like the dumbest way to protect yourself, even like across the room. You don't even need a sniper rifle. Pheromones aren't strong enough that if I'm like on the other side of a room, I couldn't shoot you. Like, she could have walked away and shot him. She needed to break her nose. And she knew about this power because her fake mom told her earlier that it was going to have to happen. So
yeah,
just walk in and shoot him. Like, why have why not just pretend to be your mom, fake mom, walk in, shoot him? Why even have the big conversation?
I actually thought some mental conditioning would have been better. Like, you can't do it because I imprinted myself in you mentally.
Right.
So you can't kill me. As opposed to, you can smell my pheromones. Thus, you're not going to kill me.
Yeah. It's so weird. Also, why even send her there? Why not just send Rachel Weisz's Millennia character there in the first place?
The movie doesn't make any sense.
Because if you could teach Natasha to go up there and take him down, why not you just go up there, because you're apparently a badass fighter too, and let her go blow up the server banks?
I think that the other thing is, like, it's hard to care about this movie because to me it had no stakes. You know that she's been taken out of the MCU. You know that you kind of know the end of the story.
Well, I think the big
this in between story,
I know what you're getting at, but there were some things like because you knew it was going to be passing the torch. So how is Liana Belova? Is that what I believe the other Black Widow's name was? Is she still called Black Widow? I don't know if they're all Black Widows, or is Natasha just Black Widow? Anyhow, you knew there was going to be a hand of the torch, so you could see like what she's doing. Was David Harbour's character going to die? Was Taskmaster not going to die? So there's some things, but nothing, like you're saying, you knew Natasha wasn't going to die. And speaking about Taskmaster, why did they Deadpool him? And I say that because in the comics, Taskmaster is like a witty, bantering villain who can look at people's skills just like they did in the show and learn them and be proficient with them. And in this movie, they basically like said, nope, we're just not let you talk. I'm like, it's the same thing they did Deadpool the first time, right? It's like, oh, this witty character, we're just going to sew his mouth shut so he can't talk. It's so weird. It's so weird.
I think that
Oh, I know that pisses me off.
I'm just surprised that there was a movie where like they had human trafficking as like the core of it and all those things, and yet they couldn't make me really like connect.
You know what really got me out of the game, I think?
Yeah.
Out of the game, it's not a game. Out of the movie was the scene when they're running after they meet up. Alana and Natasha meet for the first time, right? And they fight in their room. Part of that fight scene was like, oh, it's kind of cool, but it's also kind of like, oh, they're normal human beings. This is really hurt because they're not like superheroes and don't have formula in their body or anything. They're running away, and Natasha falls from like 4 stories up, bounces off of like 3 ventilation systems, and then lands on cement and just gets up and's fine. And I'm like, oh, come on, like. You got to make it somewhat realistic. It's not like she's a super, like have superpowers or healing ability or anything like that. And she walks over to the other Black Widow that was hunting her that fell and broke her leg from the same distance. It's like, damn. That kind of got me out of it.
You'd think that like, okay, the stakes are high, like they're trafficking like women and like, you know, trying to like young girls and like trying to make them be assassins and taking away their lives and their choices. And somehow, I just didn't care.
I want to read 2 reviews.
And I think I should care about something like that. You think that should be something that you should emotionally connect to?
I definitely had no emotions in this one. There was no moment of a little tear welling up when something happened.
And there's a thing that makes me wonder about this movie, because was it the lack of stakes? Because we've done stuff that's in the past in other Marvel movies, and I seemingly cared.
Well, there's even like, I mean, I personally really enjoyed the first Avenger, and I knew Captain America was going to live, and I knew Barnes was going to die, and it didn't take me out. Was that?
Barnes didn't die.
Well, he falls off a train and seemingly fakely dies, right? I knew all that going in, and I still can have a good movie. You can know that's one of the reasons I don't believe in spoil. Like, I don't care about spoilers a lot, because you can still tell a good story even if you know the end, where the end is going.
Yeah,
because even like rewatching, and you can take this, anyone out there who doesn't like it, but The Sixth Sense, watching it a second time, even though you know the big twist, doesn't make it a bad movie. It's still a good movie.
Yeah,
and you actually discover all these cool little hints and stuff, right? So to me, you can still make a good movie that even if it's in the past in the MCU. You don't need to always be moving it forward, or you can introduce something, right? That was the thing with First Avenger. It introduced Captain America and he gets frozen. It introduced Winter Soldier and he like disappeared and became Winter Soldier. So it's still, and then the next movie came out. So they could have done something with Black Widow that introduced more than just we were replacing the actress that plays Black Widow, the actor, with his other actor.
Yeah.
But it's because I find it very interesting, because it sounds like neither of us are very into this movie. There's 2 reviews in front of my face. And it's like, one of them says, Marvel just supplemented the 007 Bond franchise.
What?
As in, Black Widow is so good, you don't need James Bond franchise anymore. I know how much you love the Bond franchise.
That this is false. I will also say this: there are plenty of bad movies in the James Bond franchise too.
Like the one that's been delayed now for 3 years.
Well, we don't know if that's bad yet.
But I heard rumors about it that because it's been delayed so long, they might go in and like update the product placement, because like there's like old phones that don't like are 2 generations old now that were paid for product placement in it.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
So they might like go in and update all this stuff.
Like, I guess I wouldn't mind as long as they replace it with something that's time period appropriate.
Well, it takes place it's our present time, right?
Oh, no. But I mean, I'm talking about. Oh, you're talking about they would just change this movie.
Just this movie. Yeah. This movie. The newest one.
They wouldn't go back to like the Sean Connery movies.
No.
Cola or something.
No. Just these movies where they're like, oh, we had, whatever, the Samsung Galaxy 10 was the big phone and they paid us lots of money for the, product placement. Well,
oh, yeah. But it's 3 generations old.
Yeah. So now like we need to put the Samsung Galaxy 20 in there and we'll like change the back so it looks differently. Or Coke Zero doesn't exist anymore. So now he's drinking Coke Zero.
Coke 00.
0070.
Yeah.
Wait. Anyhow, so what you're saying is you loved Black Widow. It's your number 1 movie, and it is the best movie that MCU has made since Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So you and this other review person agree.
No, that is not correct. Captain America Winter Soldier is probably, it's probably the best movie in the MCU.
I think Black Widow's better personally. Not Black Widow. Sorry, Black Panther.
Oh, Black Panther.
Yeah,
Dark Widow. What about Dark Widow? We didn't discuss that.
that's true. I need to make up something right this moment. I
It was
will.
a horror movie that Case came up with.
Well, before we go, I think David Harbour was really good. I think it'd be cool to have him in the MCU more, his character. But also, his character is really seemingly just him at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, Dark Widow. So, in the Marvel Universe, there are a lot of spider-powered people out there, right?
Yeah.
And originally, this is going to be bad because I really actually hate this comic book line, but comic book story. There's a point where it was turned out that all these spiders get their powers from totems, or they are a totem. I can't remember what the hell the story is. And this guy Ezekiel was talking to Parker about it. And there's these spider. They're like vampires, but they only eat the spider powered characters. So they're going to all the different dimensions and eating all the different people that got the powers of the spider in them. So Dark Widow could be, instead of vampires, it's this like character that's hunting down all the powered spider characters. And so it's like a horror movie where it's like the Jason, because the big thing in the comic was none of the spider characters could actually fight them because they're like designed to be their hunters, right? So that all their powers didn't work with them. And so it's like a Jason character that's going around and sucking the blood of all the spider powered characters until they team up and overthrow them.
I'm waiting for a classic Case. Also,
Nope, that's it. Also, they're all clones. No, that was my only thing I could come up with on off the cuff. But also, I was talking to another friend who was not aware that there was so many different spider powered people in the MCU, which I found very interesting. Let's talk about, since that was a what if, and the first what if story came out, and I mean, what if has existed for a long time. Like, for example, in the 70s, I believe, or 60s, there was a what if the Marvel bullpen was the Fantastic Four. So like Stan Lee was Mr. Fantastic, and Kirby was the Thane, for example. What did you think from the very first what if, I believe, which was, what if Agent Carter didn't leave the room during the power-up of Captain America, so it changed the events where she ended up getting powers?
yes.
What?
Apparently, Captain America gets an Iron Man suit.
Well, yes, but what do you think of the whole, like...
I mean, it was fine. I didn't find, like, maybe I'm just on a Captain and Winter Soldier and Loki like hangover, but I've found it maybe a little hard to get excited about. I haven't gotten excited about the what if yet. I haven't gotten excited about Black Widow. I'm wondering, either am I marveled out a little bit, or is it just these things are just not exciting?
So for me, the what if, I think it was cool animation, but I actually found it not what if enough. It was too much of a like, oh, she got his powers, and then too many like callbacks to the movies almost. Like, oh, save that last dance for me, or all those like little things like, oh, my arm almost got pulled off when I fell off this train.
Too much fan service?
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. And if like a what if, I'd rather be like, oh, this choice is small, but look, now there's zombies in the world or something, you know, because I just say that because there's a what if that's gonna be what if Marvel zombies. But it just didn't seem to change enough. And even like it was a weird what if, because it was like, what if Captain Carter's a dumb name. What if Captain Carter existed that somehow changed what the Red Skull decided to do? Because he got the Tesseract, instead of using it to make weapons, he used it to summon a Doctor Strange monster. Like, it didn't make sense either. I don't know. I just think it was too discombobulated. It felt, and you also like try to shove in a 2-hour movie into a 30-minute show. So it jumped around a lot. It's like, oh, it's hit all these major beats that you saw before, but with Captain Carter. But I think the animation was really dope.
I never even thought about the compression factor. You're totally right.
Yeah. It's just like, what's the big beats? And it's hit them all. Compress it.
Also, if Howard Stark could make an Iron Man suit back then,
well, it was powered by the Tesseract, remember?
It was powered by what?
The Tesseract.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
well, he didn't have it. What I'm saying, remember, he didn't have the power to make a power source strong enough in the real MCU until his son discovered that there was this power source and made it. So in theory, he maybe could have made it himself. He had the power source.
Fun fact.
Yes.
The element that Stark discovered was actually vibranium.
In the comics or in the MCU?
In the MCU. It's in the actual, like, I found this on a Reddit thread.
I don't believe
and
you.
I had to go find, like, actually look it up to make sure it was true. But in the novelization for Iron Man
Oh,
2, it's
that's
actually
not a
vibranium.
movie. That's somebody not knowing what they're writing.
No. Clearly, he invented vibranium.
Yes, apparently he invented that thing that existed in Wakanda before he was alive.
Well, yeah, he synthesized it.
hmm Also, vibranium is not a power source.
No, with that attitude, it's not.
Yeah. So anyhow, I hope they do more what ify of what ifs instead of just like let's get Guardians of the Galaxy, but put Black Panther as Star-Lord, and now let's hit the major beats and see what the difference would be. Like I want them to be almost their own stories and a little bit more crazy. And on the note of crazy, why don't you tell me about the Suicide Squad?
The Suicide Squad.
The
Movie.
Suicide Squad.
I feel like I'm being like called on to do a book report in grade school.
Then you didn't read the book?
The Suicide Squad is a movie by James Gunn, who also did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
He also did one of my favorite horror movies.
Which one?
Shh. I want to say Shudder, but that might not be the right title. Slither. That's what it was.
What is Slither?
So it was like it was a pretty old one, 2006. There's like these little alien squiddy things that like can take over your body and kill you. But it's almost like, and then the same vein of Army of Darkness, like comedy horror.
I see. Seems like James Gunn would be good at that.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion was the lead character in it. So imagine him in that type of situation. I mean, it's James Gunn's background is comedy horror. He comes from Tromeo Studios, which if you don't know Tromeo Studios, they did stuff like Romeo and Juliet, where it's like a monster version of Romeo and Juliet. And they have, for example, Toxic Avenger is one of their characters.
Oh yeah, I remember Toxic
Yes.
Avenger.
So that's kind of where he got his teeth cut. So he definitely has that horror comedy background. But anyhow, so Suicide Squad, what'd you think?
I got a really The Boys feel from it.
All right. I don't think it was as dark as The Boys.
Pretty dark.
No, it's violent like The Boys, but it seemed a little more uplifting than The Boys. Like The Boys is like just like a dark, gritty, violent show where I felt this was more of like a happy, bouncy, violent show. If you remove the violent from the two, The Boys, you still have like a dark story about pretend super characters controlling society through corporation power.
Yes.
You take right in Suicide Squad, you have a squad of villains being controlled by the government to go do bad things to foreign countries.
Yes.
See, that's completely different. But one's full of jokes, another one's depressing. I personally enjoyed the show, the movie. It's not a show, it's a movie, even though I watched it on TV. I also watched it outside, which is kind of fun.
That is fun.
Yeah. The power of having streaming movies when you can in a projector and screen.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you? This is a complete aside.
Go right ahead.
I have convinced myself to buy a new television.
Is it going to be a 4K 700 foot by 700 foot television?
4K, 55 inches.
Oh, so it's not oversized at least.
No, I don't like it when the TV is everything on a wall.
Right.
Like, you know, like for some people, I think it's fine. It's fine in like a man cave, but I don't have one of those. I have a normal living room. And in that living room, I just choose not. I'd like to have a wall that is not entirely a TV.
I understand what you're saying. Oddly enough, I lived in a really small apartment once. It was like 700 square foot, but I was living in a bigger apartment, right? So I had a pretty decent big TV, and it wasn't like a whole wall TV. It was like, fit the room. And then I moved to this really tiny small apartment because I changed cities and it's what I could afford. But I brought the TV with me and it took up the whole wall and it was just like insane. It was like, this is not needed at all. And like the couch was like my feet would touch the TV when I sat on the couch. So I'm not always for large TVs. Anyhow, so back to Suicide Squad. You seem to have nothing to say about it. Did you like the big fact that they went through and killed a bunch of freedom fighters?
I was fine with it.
Were you fine with Peacemaker being like Captain America, but messed up in the brain?
Kinda, yeah.
Did you like John Cena's playing him and are excited there's a TV show by James Gunn that's going to star Peacemaker?
I like John Cena in the movie a lot. I liked Joel Kinnaman as Flag a lot. I mean Idris Elba. Anytime you get Idris Elba in a movie, I'm interested. So that was great.
So you have a lot of positive things to say about it.
Yeah, I mean the cast was good.
I like that Pete Davidson died in the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
That was nice.
Was that because you don't like Pete Davidson or just because you like?
I like violence. No, it was weird because it was one of those things where I'm like, he doesn't seem to fit this style of movie. And then he died. I'm like, oh. And like even like Michael Rooker, I was like, as Savant, I'm like, this movie's gonna be different than I thought.
Yeah.
I think to me, the whole movie, I enjoyed the movie, but and I really hate saying this, but they did a bunch of flashbacks, right? Giving the background story of how everyone's parents were bad to them, and that's why they're bad people.
Yeah.
The one like separate individual scene that kind of like I thought took me out of the movie was the Harley Quinn like escape thing.
Oh yeah.
Like I liked the part where they're gonna break in to get her, and then she shows up. I thought that was cool, but the whole like torture scene, and then she kills a guy and pulling the keys up, and the flowers blasting out behind her, and like it felt like it was a cool scene, but it really didn't fit the flow of the rest of the movie. And so I kind of wish that I think it would have been cool if they went to the break in and then she just showed up, and it was like that. Like the whole like love scene with the evil dictator that's taking over that she kills. It's like, it just seemed so out of place.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then, all right, here's a question. At the very beginning, there's a lot of death in this, and I'll just put it out there. Which death did you think was the best death?
Kind of like the polka dot man.
So you liked when he's got smushed?
He's just like, I'm a superhero, and then immediately gets killed.
I liked his power though.
Yeah.
I liked how TDK, which is Nathan Fillion's character, like his whole power was like throw his arm, like he could take his arms off and they floated over, but because they're like this floating arms, they couldn't like do anything, and then they shoot his arms and kill him.
I'm struggling to remember that one right now, actually.
So at the very beginning, like the very first group of Suicide Squad that goes on the beach, right?
Yeah.
He like there's a scene where he kind of throws his arms and they're floating in the air and they're kind of like going over the guys and like slapping them in the face.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a flash later, and it might have been when the helicopter was crashing or something. They show them this like machine gun in the arms, and Nathan Fillion's character on the ground is screaming in pain.
Oh yeah, I remember this now.
I just like the fact that the power was so dumb, and it was so dumb how he died.
I also like the Weasel.
Yeah, and he's still alive, so he can come back. And that was also played by Sean Gunn, his brother.
And Taika Waititi was
Ratcatcher's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was able to film that because of COVID. Like I forget what it was like because of COVID reasons, the other movies he was going to film couldn't be filmed, so he had free time. I'd like Ratcatcher, and I like the ending way of it wasn't just a beam of light and the kind of. I mean, it was the same. All right, there's two things about the ending. I like the fact that there was I'm gonna call it the Captain America moment where Bloodsport, Idris Elba's character, did the whole like, oh, you do that, like calling out everyone to use their powers to do certain things, and then basically they all get annihilated. Still, where like when Cap did it, it all worked. The Avengers side. You don't remember that, do you?
No, I do. I like the shark guy a little bit too.
Do you mean the number one actor in the history of film?
I don't know who played him.
Oh my God, you know deep down. Think of the voice. Think of what someone who gets punched in the face a lot in the boxing movies sounds like. Plays Rambo.
Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't understand his power though.
He's just a shark.
But he's not just a shark because he falls from a building and lives and gets filled with machine gun shots into his body and it's fine. Like they shot him point blank with machine guns.
It's true.
Like, is he like immortal?
Well, he's the descendant of a shark god, right?
That's what they say. I just don't know if that's actually like true. I just don't know much about him. King Shark. That's right. It's called King Shark. Is his name? How can I forget that? Yeah. And by the way, Polka Dot Man's power is his name is Polka Dot Man, so you got that right too.
Oh yeah.
I did like the fact whenever they showed his view from his eyes, his mom was like that. Was everybody?
Yeah.
That was pretty dope.
I like when he tells when he's fighting the big starfish.
Yeah.
Which is the villain, which we don't talk about. And I'm not really familiar with Suicide Squad, the DC universe. I didn't know is that a villain from the comics or whatever. But
it is a villain from the comics from like the '60s. It's like a Superman. It's a Superman and Batman have fought it multiple times, and also a children's book that I read to my son every night has it in it, and it takes over a bunch of people and Superman and them stop it. It's really weird. Hey, what were we gonna say?
No, I also just like I feel like you know how when Harley Quinn goes into the eye and it's just water and she like just sort of like splashes.
Well, all the rats eat.
Yeah, I think it would have been cooler if the shark guy had gone in. that way.
Instead of just biting the arm.
Yeah, like I feel like he would have been able to swim it around, do a lot of damage.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but I think the whole thing was to show that, I mean, the whole time they're playing how sharks were, I mean, not sharks, the rats were like useless. And then at the end, they're the actual saviors, the callbacks. Yeah. I get you what you're saying. Well, and also the shark's kind of dumb, so he probably didn't even think about going in the eyeball. And what did you think of Milton, the most important character? Milton
is
the bus driver that randomly runs around with them and he gets machine gunned to death.
Oh, yeah.
It was funny because it's like, I even asked my brother before he got machine gunned to death because I was watching with him and I was like, why is that guy still here? He has no powers. Why is he hanging out with these people? Doesn't seem like a smart thing to do. Get out there. Also, go ahead.
No, it's an also. I don't interrupt the case alsos.
So the starfish takes control of you by putting fish on your face. It clones himself on your face. Why not? Why didn't anyone other than the Suicide Squad think of, protecting their face? Just like roll up into a ball and lay on the ground.
I think just laying on the ground would have been fine.
Well, that's what they did. Like some of them, like Ratcatcher put a mask on, and I think like Bloodsport put his mask on, but I think the polka dot guy just like curled up like a ball.
I think Bloodsport was just shooting.
Oh yeah, he was just shooting them as they were coming at him. I think polka dot guy just laid down on the ground though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like shark guy is just probably eating them. I don't think they showed what he was doing.
I don't think they could attach themselves to Sharkman.
Yeah. So you were really hoping they have a sequel not of Peacemaker, but of Sharkman having his own spinoff.
I don't think the dialogue would be good enough.
I think Sharkman's like the Hulk, right? He's a good supporting character, but he won't work well as his own. Can't carry his own movie.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And of course, the big end scene, the after credits scene, is the whole Peacemaker. He's getting his own TV series. But overall, it is one of the better DCU movies.
It's one of the more entertaining ones. I just don't know what's the direction now of the DCU. Affleck's not coming back. Is Cavill still Superman? I don't even know. I guess not.
Someone asked James Gunn, and he's like, I don't know. Because I think originally they pitched him Superman. And he's like, no, I don't want that. So I think if DCU does the right thing, I think they don't do DCU. They just do a bunch of stories about their characters and don't try to copy MCU.
I think that works.
Because like this story, even though technically it's a sequel to the Suicide Squad, it's like self-contained and stands on its own.
Yeah. I mean, you just have Waller and Flag as the only continuity, right?
Harley, Flag, and technically Amanda Waller. Sorry. Amanda Waller, the head of the thing.
Yeah, so it was Waller, Flag. I forgot about Harley Quinn.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're the only ones coming back. And now you can have Weasel come back because he lives. But yeah, so I don't know. I think, would it be interesting? Because in the movie, Bloodsport, they say the reason he's in jail is that he shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet, which at least, the whole thing about the Suicide Squad is like, what happens if Superman goes bad? We need a group that can stop him, which they never actually have the power to stop him. But it would be interesting.
The power Batman can stop him.
The writer of the story that happens to need to stop him can stop him by making anyone powerful enough to stop him. Batman
can stop Superman.
There's a really good video. It's a really good video. It's Stanley doing a rant because he's like, everyone keeps on asking me who would win a battle between blah blah blah, people like that. He's like, who would win? Whoever the hell the writers want to win. It's about the story. It has nothing to do with their powers. It's like, we will just write who we want to win. And we don't try to weigh the Thing is stronger than the Hulk or the Hulk is stronger than the Thing. It's just like, in this story case, we want the Thing to win, so we'll make it happen. But Batman would lose, and Batman knows he would lose. Also, there's a Batman movie coming out. Anyhow, so overall, you're thumbs up on the Suicide Squad.
Good. People should watch that. I think it is worth watching. I wouldn't say you should go out of your way to watch it, but if you have,
isn't it free on HBO Max?
It's free if you sign up for HBO Max.
Well, all right. But everyone signed up for HBO Max to watch Justice League Snyder Cut.
I would say Snyder Cut is Suicide Squad versus Snyder Cut. Which one do you watch?
Not Snyder Cut?
I think you have to watch Snyder Cut.
I still haven't watched Snyder Cut. You know how Black Widow, you had troubles getting through of it? I fell asleep in the first 10 minutes of the Snyder Cut. And so this is so fucking boring. And it's already a remake of a movie that was already boring. And it's this longer boring.
It was better.
Yeah, but better, just because you make a prettier form out of the pile of shit that you put on my front door doesn't mean I want to go hang out with that pile of shit on my front door.
Feels like there's a lot of emotion there, Case. Would you like to talk about it?
No, I'm just saying. People, I just love the fact that people are like, well, the Snyder Cut's better. A lot of people say that. I'm like, well, sure. It can be better. It doesn't mean it's good. Better doesn't mean good. It's like 3 hours long.
It's just, I don't know. It was entertaining to watch just because it was fun to see those characters. It was fun to see it as it was originally envisioned, and I thought it was cool. I wanted to support it because I also like the idea that like the fans wanted it and got it.
You mean everyone would bomb the crap out of other movies with their dumb Snyder Cut release garbage, and then they got it?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
So is my question. So does that mean you want David Ayer's? Is it David Ayer's Fantastic Four version to be released?
Wasn't
I think that there's a Fantastic Four.
Is just are you talking about the ones with the one with Miles Teller?
The newest one that came out that they went to like another world or something, and with
Yeah, Miles Teller.
yes, and there's like a cut that's the actual director's cut. I think I think the original Suicide Squad has a cut that the guy's like, yeah, this isn't what the movie I made. Like this happened. It's not like this only ever happened to Snyder. Like why is the JLA one so important? Like if it's so important that we should see the original intent of everybody, why don't we have more releases of the real intent of everyone? Here's a question. Do you think there would have been any way that JLA Snyder Cut could have been worse than the original?
Oh yeah, totally,
Because
absolutely.
to me, it feels like JLA just gets it's better because people just hated the first one so bad. And this one's like, wow, it's cool because the director got to actually release his version. That's neat. It's like this moment in time that will never happen again because directors never get the power to actually release what they wanted to release.
No, it was a better story. It was a better story. It was better. It was better told. It was more interesting. I absolutely have no. I really the Snyder Cut is like the first Justice League film is unwatchable. This one is watchable. It is just longer, and that will be for some people. That won't be for others. But
It wasn't. It was boring.
It's fundamentally a better movie.
So, what about Batman vs Superman? Do you like the Snyder Cut better than the theatrical cut because it's better, longer? Because I watched both of those, and to me, they seem just as bad of a story.
I like it better. I don't think it's that much better, but it's better.
All right, you're just a DC fanboy.
I call it like I see it, Case.
I would 100% say see the Suicide Squad because it's a more original movie and a more original take than the JLA. That's my say. Plus, I like James Gunn. He's cool. Idris Elba is cool. Superman and Batman suck.
I guess, yeah. I guess going through everything on a time basis, like knowing that the Snyder Cut's really long, I would say, yeah, you should probably watch The Suicide Squad before you watch anything else.
Anything else? Let's see. What else we have? Aquaman. I actually wasn't that big of a fan of Aquaman. The first Wonder Woman was pretty good. 84. Actually, I like Shazam. Shazam's pretty good. Is that considered DCU? I don't know. Anyway, your point. Is that it? Anything else you want to say about the Snyder Cut? Not the Snyder Cut. What the heck were we talking about? The Suicide Squad?
The Suicide Squad. We covered Black Widow, Dark Widow, What If, The Suicide Squad. Anything else you'd like to talk about, Case?
Nothing on the top of my head other than the fact we won't be able to see Shang-Chi?
Oh, yeah.
Shang-Chi? I can't remember. I'm not how to pronounce it.
Yes.
We won't be able to see that until 40 days after. Well, at least I won't be able to see it for at least 40 days after theatrical release because I can't go to theater right now.
I can't either, but yeah.
So we won't be seeing that until it's streamed because apparently Black Widow didn't make enough money, so they want to do this 40-day delay.
What I might do is, when does Shang-Chi actually come out?
That was September or something, isn't it? I will find out right now.
I may actually already be
September 3rd.
I'm supposed to go. So like I have to take a plane flight in September. So I think what I'm going to do is I might just work it in. Cause like at that point, like I've already been
exposed,
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, then you can tell me the whole story.
I can fly Delta and contract Delta.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation about Shang-Chi a little bit that what maybe that people don't know is he's just a really the best martial artist in the MCU. He is not a super powered person. He has no powers. So he's kind of like in that same realm as the Punisher. Well, if there were Punishers, uses guns. He's just highly, highly trained. So he's kind of like could be like
what about Iron Fist? Wouldn't Iron Fist, like, because he's got the Iron Fist?
Technically in the comic books, Iron Fist is not the best martial artist.
He just has that Iron Fist?
He just happened to punch a dragon's heart and got the Iron Fist. He's a good martial artist, but he's not the best martial artist.
Were you ever able to finish the Netflix Iron Fist show?
Did I finish it? If I did, my brain deleted itself and then hit itself into a vat of vodka and slowly killed itself.
There are times I wish I wasn't like we didn't do this podcast because I feel like there's times I have to watch things and I have to see them through because I have to be able to talk about them. And I think
I don't think we finished the Iron Fist.
I think that one might have been maybe that was one of the ones where we just called it.
It might have been like, I mean, if it's bad, it's bad. There's like rumors now that apparently the main character didn't want to learn how to do karate, or not karate. I'm a martial artist, or whatever skill set they had. That's why the fighting scene was so bad.
Huh.
And to me, it's like, if you say that, like, you should just not be like, you should be fired. Like, do your job.
It's harder to fire actors than people realize.
I'm aware that it's hard to fire lots of people, but I'm aware it's not that easy. It's just one of those like, why even try out for the star for that? I mean, I understand it's an MCU, blah blah blah, but
okay. I have one update after this whole Shang-Chi thing.
Well, I think that's it. I was just pointing out that he has no powers, and it's going to be a cool. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it. And the main actor, if no one's watched it, there is a Netflix show that he's in that I'm going to pause here because I can't remember what it is. It's a convenience store in Toronto called Kim's Convenience. It's actually a CBS television show, but it's all on Netflix that is actually pretty good. And he's a pretty good actor, and it's a comedy. It's pretty cool. Now, go ahead. What's your last update?
I got a PS5.
Ooh. Know what I got? Not a PS5. I ordered a Steam Deck.
A what deck?
Steam Deck. Do you not pay? You know Steam, the company, the
handheld thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I reserved one day of, like, as soon as they came available. So I'll be one of the first people getting one when they come, and I'm excited about it. So how's your PS5?
Oh, it doesn't actually come till September 21st, but I got one.
My Steam Deck comes in December 2021. It's going to have that, remember how you're talking about why doesn't my Nintendo Switch have a higher res screen and higher res output? Well, now I have it.
So
I'm excited.
That brings us to the end of our topic.
I now have a handheld gaming system that has 500 games on it for me. 500 games.
I forgot. Case has to get all the alsos out. So.
Also, no, there's no more alsos. That's it.
Okay. So if you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach us via email at podcast@nolifekings.com.
What's the first game you're going to play on your PS5?
No Life Kings on Instagram.
All right. Sounds good. Maybe there's Instagram on PS5. If there's Instagram integration, you better first sign up to follow us.
No, good question. I think the first thing I'd want to play is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
So not even a PS5 exclusive.
It's on the PS4 too, but sure.
I have it. I did not go play too far into it.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I probably put like 3 hours into it and just stopped playing it.
Oh, I'd like to play the Demon Souls remake.
Hate it.
You hated the Demon Souls remake?
I hate Demon Souls in general. Demon Souls, that game, I hate.
And I want to play Madden too.
I hate it.
Madden?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I haven't played. I played Madden last year. I got like there's a 10-hour like, hey, you can play this for 10 hours for free. I played my 10 hours and it said, all right, I'm gone. Moving on. I go back to playing hockey.
Like NHL or real hockey?
Both. But like NHL, I like NHL hockey better than I think playing hockey by yourself in video games is enjoyable. I like playing Madden like against people, and usually when I say against people I know. I'm not gonna go online and play random people, but like friends are over, or playing with my brother online or something. That's fun. It's just playing a computer in the football games. Usually like, ugh. And I just feel like the AI is just not good enough in it to make it competitive. I guess. And also, it's because of the fact I can't not pick the Steelers, and usually that means I'm one of the best teams in the league to start with. I know as a Buffalo fan, a Bills fan, you don't know what that means.
I don't know about what.
Being one of the best franchises in history of football.
Well, sure, that's history. That's not today.
I mean, might be the day too. You had one good season. Just wait till your quarterback hurts his arm throwing the ball out to the fans.
He's not going to do that. He's made of iron.
Didn't he get hurt last year?
He defeated the Steelers.
He did in one of my favorite games of the season.
Twice. Regular season and playoffs.
You guys didn't beat us in the playoffs. We lost the Browns in the playoffs.
Wait, really?
Yes. Ben threw 3 interceptions in like the first half, and we were down like in the first quarter, in the first 5 minutes, we were down by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you go up against a juggernaut.
Called the Browns?
Yeah.
Well,
no, it's just that look, Roethlisberger's career is over. He's also a jerk.
I agree. His career should be over, but no one will let us. Well, I say no one will let us fire him, but someone should fire him.
And I'm also really, really angry that Antonio Brown, Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger basically did the same thing. One was treated very differently than the other.
Well, it's not the same thing. Antonio Brown went to a team they didn't want to go to, add like a jerk there to get also fired so that the team he wanted to go to would get him. Because it wasn't just what he did at the Steelers. Antonio Brown went to the Raiders and just like purposely ruined his career, like ruined all of his relationships there. So they would let him go so they could side the Patriots. Or don't you remember that whole thing?
So, anyways, if you'd like to reach out to us, it's podcast@nolifekings.com. If you'd like to reach out to us on Instagram, it's NoLifeKings on Instagram. And on Twitter, it is NLK_podcast.
You're right. Cheers. Well, I thought you were going to say something like, and that's it. And then I was going to say cheers, but you just kind of like stopped on.
We can just
Cheers.
cheers.
Now, do you mean, when you say Antonio Brown, do you mean Bell?
Oh, that's Antonio Brown.
But I think Bell did more things than similar to them. It was like more about contract negotiation, money, and stuff like that.
Scumbags. Just to, like, look, I just think this, like, there needs to be like a zero tolerance policy for stuff like that. If you're convicted of that sort of stuff,
Well, there's no saying.
and he did get a what do you call it? A fine, or like he got a suspension.
Right.
Didn't they basically make him take an entire season off?
No.
Oh no, that was the other guy. That was
Yeah.
Adam Pac-Man Jones.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that
It's a very weird world because first off, a lot of things that guys do to females doesn't get convicted anyhow.
yeah.
But so that's a problem itself, and because of that, people get away with things. But yet, how can you fire someone for when they're not convicted for something at the same time?
Yeah.